Hey, hi, hello, and welcome back to Formula Amateur, where today we'll be talking all about the F3 races. We're going to have another mega showdown of how the races have gone so far in F3. We'll be talking about Melbourne, Sakir, Imola, Monaco, Barcelona, Spielberg, Silverstone. We'll also mention the rest of the races that are left. There aren't many, but what there are is a lot of drivers. So there are 36 drivers that have taken part in F3 so far this year. It's a bit crazy, which is why we will start with the standings first, and then we'll go into all the sprint and the feature race results. I hope that's okay. Let's do this. So we're going to start from the bottom and work our way up. And just to let you know, from 36 to 27, they don't have any points at all. So in 36th position, we have Jose Garfias, who has 0 points and drove for AIX Racing. Then in 35th, we have Nicola Mariangeli. He also drives for AIX Racing. In 34th, we have Nikita Johnson, who drives for or has driven for High Tech. He's in 34th. Then in 33rd, we have James Headley, who has driven and is occasionally driving at AIX Racing. He's in 33rd. 32nd, we have Javier Segura, also for AIX. In 31, we have Gerard G, and he drives for High Tech. In 30th, we have Nicola Lacorte, who drives for Dams Lucas Oil. In 29th, we have Jesse Carrasquedo Jr. in a High Tech. In 28th, we have Brando Badua, who is driving for Prima Racing. In 27th, we have Joshua Dufek for High Tech. In 26th, we have Brad Benavides. He's the first one with points. He's got 2 points, and he is part of AIX Racing. In 25th, we have Matias Zagazeta, who drives for Dams Lucas Oil. He's got 6 points, and he's in 25th, followed by Freddie Slater in 24th for AIX with 10 points. Then Louis Sharp in 23rd with 11 points, and he drives for Rodin Motorsport. And then in 22nd, we have Bruno Del Pino with 13 points for MP Motorsport, followed by Christian Ho in 21st with 17 points. Nikita Bedrin in 20th with 17 points for AIX, and Christian Ho for Dams Lucas Oil. And then we have Ivan Dominguez in 19th with 18 points. He drives for VA Racing, Van Amersfoort Racing. And then James Wharton for ART Grand Prix in 18th with 19 points. In 17th, we have Noel Leon for Prima. He's got 21 points. In 16th, we go Ugo Ogochukwu with 22 points. He's also part of Prima. In 15th, we have Charlie Vers with 25 points, and he's also part of MP Motorsport. In 14th, Tazanapo Infrafruzak, I am so sorry for that pronunciation. He's got 33 points as in 14th. In 13th, we've got Lawrence Van Hopen with 48 points, and he drives for ART, and Tasnapol drives for Campos Racing. In 12th, we have Santiago Ramos, who drives for Van Amersfoort Racing. He's also got 48 points. In 11th, we have Callum Voisin with also 48 points, and he drives for Rodin. And then in 10th, we have Roman Belinsky with 49 points, and he drives for Rodin Motorsport as well. In 9th, we have Tuukka Tappinen, who drives for ART Grand Prix with 52 points. In 8th, we have Alessandro Giusti with 54 points. He is part of MP Motorsport. In 7th, we have Theophile Nael with 58 points. And then in 6th, we have Noah Stromsted with 62 points, and he is part of Trident. And Charlie Verse is also part of Trident. I just have it marked down wrong. I do apologise. In 5th, we have Martinius Stenssorm with 76 points. And he drives for High Tech as well. In 4th, we have Mario Boyer, part of Campos. He's got 85 points. And then in 3rd, we have Nicolas Solov with 91 points. He's part of Campos Racing as well. In 2nd, we have Tim Tramont with 93 points, and he's part of MP Motorsport. And then in 1st, we have Rafael Camara with 121 points, the only one to break the 3-digit points, and he's part of Trident. So let's look at what the current layout of the drivers and the teams are. As I said, they change from race to race depending on the situation, but at the moment, as of recording, for Dams Lucas Oil we have Locorte, Zagazzetta and Ho. For AIX we have Headley, Marinangeli and Benavides. In Rodin we have Voisin, Sharp and Belinsky. In Van Amersfoort Racing we have Niel, Ramos and Dominguez. In MP Motorsport we have Tramnitz, Delpino and Giusti. In High Tech we have Stenshorn, Johnson and G. In Campos we have Boyer, Infrafu, Vasak and Solov. In ART Grand Prix we have Van Hopen, Tappinen and Wharton. In Trident we have Stromsted, Kamara and Vers. And in Prima we have Badua, Leon and Ugachukwu. So those are the 10 teams and 3 drivers per team as of right now, with obviously AIX constantly swapping out the drivers, and also High Tech having quite a few over time. It just, as I said, situations vary in F3 more than they do in F2 and certainly in F1. So due to the confusing manner in which the results are, due to how many drivers there are, I will only discuss the drivers who did finish each race. So we're starting with the sprint race in Melbourne. So we had in 22nd position, we had Dufek for High Tech. In 21st, we had Giusti for MP Motorsport. Then we had Dominguez in 20th for Van Amersfoort Racing. Then we have Marinangeli for AIX Racing in 19th. Then we have Badua for Prima in 18th. Then we have Sharp in Rodin in 17th. Then we have Locorte for Dams Lucas Oil in 16th. Then we have G in High Tech in 15th. Then we have Ho for Dams Lucas Oil in 14th. Then we have Tappinen in 13th for ART Grand Prix. Then we have Boyer for Campos Racing in 12th. Then we have Ugachukwu in Prima in 11th. Then we have Leon in Prima in 10th. Then we have Voisin in Rodin in 9th. Then we have Solov in Campos in 8th. Then we have Niel in Van Amersfoort in 7th. Then we have Bedrin in AIX in 6th. Then we have Zagazzetta in Dams Lucas Oil in 5th. Then we have Infrafu Vasak in Campos in 4th. Then we have Belinsky for Rodin in 3rd. Then we have Stenshorn in High Tech in 2nd. And then we have Ramos in Van Amersfoort for 1st position. Now in the feature race, 27 drivers finished the race, with Marinangeli for AIX in 27th, Badua for Prima in 26th, Giusti in MP in 25th, Locorte for Dams in 24th, Delpino for MP Motorsport in 23rd, Zagazzetta for Dams in 22nd, Wharton in for ART in 21st, Tappinen in ART in 20th, Dominguez for Van Amersfoort in 19th, G in High Tech in 18th, for Boyer in Campos 17th, Ramos for Van Amersfoort in 16th, Sagrera in AIX in 15th, Sharp for Rodin 14th, Leon Prima Racing 13th, Van Hopen ART Grand Prix 12th, Dufek High Tech 11th, Ugachukwu Prima 10th, Belinsky for Rodin 9th, Stenshorn High Tech 8th, Vasak for Campos 7th, Verse for Trident in 6th, Tramnitz for MP Motorsport in 5th, Bedrin for AIX in 4th, Niel Van Amersfoort in 3rd, Stromsted for Trident in 2nd, and Kamara in 1st for Trident. And now on to the next location where we find ourselves in Sakir, and that will be the Bahrain Grand Prix, where 23 drivers finish the sprint race, with Sagrera for AIX in 23rd, Badua for Prima in 22nd, G for High-Tech in 21, Belinsky in Rodin 20th, Delpino in MP Motorsport in 19th, Infrafu Vasak for Campos in 18th, Zagazeta for Dams in 17th, Van Hopen in ART in 16th, Boyer in Campos 15th, Sharp Rodin 14th, Wharton ART 13th, Kamara Trident 12th, Leon Prima 11th, Stromsted Trident 10th, Vers Trident 9th, Ho Dams 8th, Justy MP 7th, Tramnitz MP 6th, Stenshorn High Tech 5th, Voisin Rodin 4th, Tappinen ART 3rd, Slater AIX 2nd, and Solov Campos in 1st. And then in the feature race, we had 29 drivers, meaning that only one did not finish, with 29th being Zakazeta, in 28th Wharton, then in 27th Ugachukwu, in 26th we have G, in 25th we have Marin Angeli, then we have Sagrera in 24th, Sharp in 23rd, Dufek in 22nd, Badua in 21, 20th we have Lacorte, Dominguez in 19th, Stenshorn in 18th, Leon in 17th, Infrafu Vasak in Campos, not sure why I mentioned the car brands now, in 16th, Niel, 15th, Ramos in 14th, Belinsky in 13th, Van Hopen in 12th, Verse in 11th, Ho in 10th, Delpino in 9th, Boyer in 8th, Justy in 7th, Stromsted in 6th, Solov in 5th, Tappinen in 4th, Tramnitz in 3rd, Voisin in 2nd, and Kamara in 1st. Okay, on to a race in Imola. This is the sprint race where 27 drivers finish the race. So we have Ramos in 27th, Voisin in 26th, Dominguez in 25th, G in 24th, Verse in 23rd, Wharton in 22nd, Ho in 21, Niel in 20th, Infrafu Vasak in 19th, Headley in 18th, Van Hopen in 17th, Badua in 16th, Lacorte in 15th, Dufek in 14th, Stenshorn in 13th, Benavides in 12th, Kamara in 11th, Justy in 10th, Leon in 9th, Ugachukwu in 8th, Tappinen in 7th, Stromsted in 6th, Belinsky in 5th, Sharp in 4th, Solov in 3rd, Delpino in 2nd, and Tramnitz in 1st. And then for the feature race in Imola, we have 28 race finishers, with Leon being 28th, Delpino in 27th, Niel in 26th, Lacorte in 25th, Benavides in 24th, Headley in 23rd, Zagazeta in 22nd, Ho in 21st, G in 20th, Badua in 19th, Voisin in 18th, Infrafu Vasak in 17th, Verse in 16th, Dufek in 15th, Ugachukwu in 14th, Wharton in 13th, Sharp in 12th, Stenshorn in 11th, Van Hopen in 10th, Solov in 9th, Belinsky in 8th, Justy in 7th, Tramnitz in 6th, Boyer in 5th, Tappinen in 4th, Kamara in 3rd, Stromsted in 2nd, and Ramos in 1st. Onto the icon that is Monaco, where we had 24 drivers finish in the race, with Solov being 24th, and Delpino in 23rd, Wharton in 22nd, Badua in 21st, Marangeli in 20th, G in 19th, Infrafu Vasak in 18th, Zakazeta in 17th, Niel in 16th, Ho in 15th, Dufek in 14th, Ugachukwu in 13th, Benavides in 12th, Belinsky in 11th, Voisin in 10th, Sharp in 9th, Boyer in 8th, Kamara in 7th, Verse in 6th, Tramnitz in 5th, Justy in 4th, Van Hopen in 3rd, Tappinen in 2nd, and Stenshorn in first. And even less participants finishing the race in Monaco for the feature race, with 22 drivers, and the 22nd being Niel, 21st being Marinangeli, 20th Dominguez, 19th G, 18th Stromstead, 17th Dufek, Ramos in 16th, Sakaseta in 15th, Ugachukwu in 14th, Ho in 13th, Infrafu Vasak in 12th, 11th is Wharton, 10th Justy, 9th Sharp, 8th Stenshorn, 7th Tappanen, 6th Van Hopen, 5th Tramnitz, 4th Voisin, 3rd Boyer, 2nd Belinsky, and Solov in 1st. So on to the Barcelona sprint race, where we had 24 drivers finishing the race. We have Garcias in 24th, Carrasquedo in 23rd, Marinangeli in 22nd, G in 21st, Lacorte in 20th, Zakazeta in 19th, Badua in 18th, Ugachukwu in 17th, Voisin in 16th, Benavides in 15th, Verse in 14th, Sharp in 13th, Del Pino in 12th, and then we have Ho in 11th, Leon in 10th, Infrafu Vasak in 9th, Wharton in 8th, Boyer in 7th, Justy in 6th, and then Niel in 5th, Van Hopen in 4th, Solov in 3rd, Ramos in 2nd, and Dominguez in 1st. So for the feature race in Barcelona, we had 26 drivers finish the race, with Lacorte being 26th, followed by Carrasquedo in 25th, Benavides in 24th, Marinangeli in 23rd, Boy in 22nd, G in 21, Ugachukwu in 20th, Tappanen in 19th, Leon in 18th, Del Pino in 17th, Wharton in 16th, Zakazeta in 15th, Ho in 14th, Verse in 13th, Sharp in 12th, Infrafu Vasak in 11th, Voisin in 10th, Stenshorn in 9th, and Stromstead in 8th, Tramnitz in 7th, Dominguez in 6th, Solov in 5th, Van Hopen in 4th, Justy in 3rd, Niel in 2nd, and Kamara in 1st. On to Spielberg now, where 24 drivers finished the sprint race, with Badua in 24th, Del Pino in 23rd, G in 22nd, Stromstead in 21st, 20th we had Headley, 19th Marinangeli, Johnson in 18th, Zakazeta in 17th, Ugachukwu in 16th, Belinsky in 15th, Carrasquedo in 14th, Ramos in 13th, Van Hopen in 12th, Niel in 11th, Leon in 10th, Kamara in 19th, Voisin in 8th, Stenshorn in 7th, Tramnitz in 6th, Boyer in 5th, and then we had Infrafu Vasak in 4th, Solov in 3rd, Justy in 2nd, and Wharton in 1st. 27 drivers managed to finish the Spielberg feature race, with Ramos in 27th, Headley in 26th, Marinangeli in 25th, Ho in 24th, Belinsky in 23rd, Johnson in 22nd, Dominguez in 21st, Tappanen in 20th, Del Pino in 19th, Zakazeta in 18th, G in 17th, Sharp in 16th, Infrafu Vasak in 15th, Wharton in 14th, Carrasquedo in 13th, Justy in 12th, Leon in 11th, Niel in 10th, Benavides in 19th, Voisin in 8th, Stromstead in 7th, Verse in 6th, Kamara in 5th, Ugachukwu in 4th, Boyer in 3rd, Tramnitz in 2nd, and Stenshorn winning the race. Now, Silverstone was a chaotic one in terms of the feature race, but we will start off with the sprint, where we had 29 drivers finish the race, with Solov being 29th, Marinangeli in 28th, Johnson in 27th, Headley in 26th, Zakazeta in 25th, G in 24th, Lacorte in 23rd, Voisin in 22nd, Sharp in 21st, Del Pino in 20th, Niel in 19th, Tappanen in 18th, Dominguez in 17th, Wharton in 16th, Ramos in 15th, Benavides in 14th, Stromstead in 13th, Justy in 12th, Tramnitz in 11th, Belinsky in 10th, Verse in 9th, Kamara in 8th, Leon in 7th, Ho in 6th, Ugachukwu in 5th, Van Hopen in 4th, and then we have Boyer in 3rd, Stenshorn in 2nd, and Infrafu Vasak in 1st. As I said, Silverstone was a chaotic one, including in terms of the standings just for this race alone, where we have two 28th position finishers. This race was cut short at 11 and 12 laps depending on where people finished. So we have two 28th spots for Headley and Stromstead, followed by Marinangeli in 27th. Then we skip over 26th and we have 2 places in 25th for G and Zakazeta. And then in 24th we have Johnson. Then we skip over 23rd and we go to Kamara in 22nd. In 21st we've got Ugochukwu. In 20th we have Solov. In 19th we have Voisin. In 18th we have Tramnit. In 17th we have Stenshorn. In 16th we have Vers. In 15th we have Lacorte. In 14th we have Justy. In 13th we have Infrafu Vasak. In 12th we have Badua. In 11th we have Dominguez. In 10th we have Tapanen. In 9th we have Del Pino. In 8th we have Ramos. In 7th we have Van Hopen. In 6th we have Wharton. In 5th we have Ho. In 4th we have Belinsky. In 3rd we have Leon. In 2nd we have Niel. And Boyer finishing the Silverstone race in 1st. And as mentioned previously, there are 3 more races to go. So on the 25th to the 27th of July, there is the race, the sprint race and feature race for F3 at Spa-Francorchamps in Belgium. Then on the 1st to the 3rd of August, we've got Budapest in Hungary. And then that's also sprint and race, feature race as always. And then the final one, we finish the F3 season in Monza. And this is from the 5th to the 7th of September for the final sprint and feature race of 2025. Thank you so much for listening to another podcast of Formula Amateur. Please check out our website, BeTheChangeMediaNetwork.com. For any information and any of your merch needs, please check out all of my other lovely colleagues on the Be The Change Media Network. There will be no podcast episode on Monday as there is no race. But I will see you next Saturday for another episode. Hope you have a lovely week, and I'll see you next week. Goodbye.